Welcome to Hero Club. I'm Nick Williams.
And I'm George Primavera.
George and I started playing Dungeons & Dragons with our buddies in college, and we haven't stopped since. Even when we lived on opposite coasts, I would Skype in George on the TV in the living room of my apartment,
while I would DM from the floor of my bathroom so as not to wake up my roommate. When I finally came out to Los Angeles, we started playing with our friends right away.
And when we'd inevitably tell other people about the ultimate betrayals and daring heroics that happened in our games, we realized that they were just hearing a jumbled mess instead of the cinematic blockbuster memories that were in our heads. We wanted to show people how fun and immersive D&D can be, especially those who had never played.
And to do that, we record a full game like normal around the table and then painstakingly cut it down from 4 hours to a clean, math-free episode, so you can experience our memories the way we do.
Just like in a real game, nothing is ever written or planned out ahead of time with the players. The only things we add are music and sound effects.
I am the Dungeon Master. I build the world and the framework for an adventure. The players, like Nick, must then journey through the obstacles I set before them, rolling a 20-sided die and adding character-specific bonuses to see if they succeed. If they beat the number I have in my head, then their action is successful. If not, it is a failure, and there may be consequences. We try to follow the rules of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition as close as we can, but as the Dungeon Master, what I say goes, and there are some things I like to do differently.
Each season is its own contained story, so find one that sounds interesting to you and start from the top. And hey, welcome to the club.
Hero Club presents Chains of Atlantis. Act 1. Voices in the Deep.
We open on a pitch-black evening, choked by smoke and flooding rancid rainwater. Theobald Daringcroft lies face up, nearly submerged by a river of mud, gunpowder, and blood. The sound of men screaming is nearly drowned by a thunderous booming in the distance. Thunder? Artillery? Some new hellish revelation? Who can be sure? In the din of horror, a hand grasps your lapel, yanking you from the muck, but the ground refuses to yield you to your rescuer. Hopelessness overtakes your heart. Why will this foolish soldier not just let the terror end, allowing you to slip to the other side and escape this nightmare?
Doc, come on, Doc, you gotta wake up! Come on! Wake up! Wake up, Doc!
His voice is inaudible, muffled, but through squinting eyes, you can see a burly fellow and familiar facial hair. And then a meaty hand draws back, firing toward your unprotected face. Perhaps this is the enemy, intending to grant you your wish after all. You close your eyes, wait for the end, and then...
There he is!
Theobald Daringcroft comes to, sputtering as seawater spills over his lips.
Theobald Daringcroft shakily rights himself to a sitting position. Thank you, Mr. Mahoney. Clad in head-to-toe British khaki and a classic explorer's pith helmet, Theobald Daringcroft, the eccentric aristocrat who assembled this motley crew, peers through his monocle with insatiable curiosity. He is unusually energetic for a man in his early 60s, but his bushy snow-white mutton chops that meet his mustache in the middle give his age away immediately.
Bones pulls the old explorer up to his feet. Pull yourself together, Doc. Those bozos are hot on our tail. The team's pilot and de facto muscle, Bones Mahoney is a refrigerator of a man, easily 6'5" and 275 pounds. He has a thick mustache that stands out from a perpetual 5 o'clock shadow, his jaw is as sharp as a razor, and his smile would give a pearl diver a heart attack. In his beaten-up leather flight jacket and 1,000-mile boots, he looks like a bona fide action hero.
Come on, Gov. Didn't come all this far to be brown bread. Jade Pickitt, the company thief, a wiry wisp of a thing in waxed trousers and a cotton blouse, with mischief in her eyes and a smirk that's seen it all. uses the side of her mouth to blow away the hair that's fallen loose from her mess of a bun. She launches herself out of the water, one hand gripping a wound in her side and the other gripping close to a dagger, an ancient thing that when it catches the light seems to give off a purple glow.
Vanya Baranov waddles out of the water, unspooling a long wire, and loops it around a detonator.
Big bomb!
There is a shuddering explosion in the underwater tunnel that the party has just emerged from.
The team's explosive expert is a severe man whose wild eyes light up with a childlike glee, staring into the middle distance at the destruction that he has caused. He stands at 5'4", 230 pounds, and burdened with just how brilliant he is. Welding goggles sit on his completely bald head, and under that, the lower half of his face is dominated by a giant bushy beard. He has tattoos on his knuckles, a tattoo of a ram on his chest, and a tattoo of 3 jasmine flowers that snake up his neck to his left cheek.
Theobald, Bones, Jade, and Vanya are in various states of injury, catching their breath in a high-ceilinged, rounded, empty cathedral, surrounded by bare, stark walls. At their backs, the pool of water serving as the submerged, subterranean entrance to this chamber, and in front of them, an intricately carved floor, adorned with Atlantean runes.
Oh, goodness gracious me! Theobald pats himself down frantically, his face immediately becoming a mask of relief as he finds the Antikythera device.
And the mechanism is glowing. Theobald is currently at 34 out of 68 hit points. Bones sits at 71 of 78. Jade is at 29 of 51 hit points, and Vanya looks untouched at 75 hit points.
Theobald briskly pushes forward, immediately downgrading to a limp, remembering his injuries. Just as I thought. There's another lock to this key. Onwards, everyone. We mustn't forget our Moliere. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it.
Vanya, did you see those jabronis? They're like fish guys or something.
I have been saying this from the very beginning, and none of you would listen to me. You do not be human underwater for this long, and do not become fish people. I was right. Chalk another one up for Vanya Baranov.
What's gotten into you, Big Ram? You've been a grump since Istanbul.
Oh, come now, Miss Pickitt. Cut the poor man some slack. He did get kidnapped off the street, after all.
Vanya's eyes go dark.
We do not talk about this ever again.
And in that tense silence, behind you, you hear the water disturbed. It begins to waver at first, before bubbles begin to pop with increasing intensity.
Bones lights a torch and holds it out to the pool. Guys?
Exploding out of the water are 6 bipedal figures. As they land onto the stone floor, their faces are illuminated by Bones' torch. 7-foot-tall, muscular creatures with mottled, dark green scaled skin, 4 grasping arms each, and faces that resemble a piranha. Needle-sharp teeth and cold, emotionless eyes framed by nearly translucent frills. Each wields a spear of carved, dead white coral. One of them shouts,
Maranaka!
Theobald instinctively brings a hand up to his necklace made of a piece of the Rosetta Stone. That means kill them. Everyone, prepare for battle.
The fish people launch forward.
Twirling the knife, Jade picks up speed and runs towards the fish creatures. She launches herself off of Bones' shoulders, flips around, and stabs the nearest one.
Roll an attack.
12.
Hit. Roll damage.
30.
As the knife enters the piranha man's neck, there is a pulse of purple energy. The fishman's cold, dark eyes go somehow darker, and without bleeding, he slumps to the ground, dead. There is more vibrating in the knife in Jade's hand, and its power increases as it absorbs another soul. Horace's knife is well fed.
Jade rips the knife out of the creature's neck, sliding backwards through Bones' legs, disengaging.
In response, the fish creatures charge forward and meet Bones.
Come on!
Each fish seems to sniff in as they smell the blood dripping from Bones' cheek. Bones takes 20 points of piercing damage, bringing him down to 51 points of health.
Vanya pulls out 3 cherry bombs, lights each wick, and throws one at each creature. 18, 18, 25.
3 hits.
8 points of fire damage. 8 points of fire damage. 11 points of fire damage. Vanya then waddles up towards the group of creatures, unveiling his flamethrower. Bismuth.
They all fail their dexterity saving throws.
16 fire damage.
3 of the 5 remaining fish creatures fall dead, burning on the slab of rock.
Bones grabs the remaining spear still sticking out of his pec and breaks it off at the entry point before reloading both of his fists and entering a pugilist stance. My turn. He throws a jab and a right hook at the first fishman and then turns, using his moxie, to deliver a hook and an uppercut to the second. 11.
Miss.
26.
Hit.
14. 27.
And 2 more hits.
8 damage on the first fishman. 22 damage on the second.
The second fish creature flies backwards into the water, unmoving and unconscious. Only one now stands haggard, surrounded by all of you.
Theobald hurriedly fiddles with the wheel-like mechanism in his hand, deciphering the Atlantean runes around the outside of it.
With one hand on the Rosetta Stone, you look at the wheel, seeing the Atlantean runes shimmer in front of your eyes, magically translated, bearing the symbols of each zodiac. There is no new information to glean here. However, at the same time, the Atlantean runes on the floor begin to change and shift. Roll an investigation check.
12.
It takes you a moment, but you are able to start to decipher a long sentence that has been written along the circumference of the entire room. You have enough time in this moment to decipher this much.
May his perpetual internment stand as an everlasting treaty.
Behind Theobald, Jade seeks to resolve the combat.
In one swift movement, Jade lunges at the final creature, stabbing him through the heart.
Roll an attack.
25.
Roll damage.
36 damage.
This last fish creature grabs the knife as Jade forces it through his hand and into his chest.
Jade looks proudly around the room.
Filet battered and fried, just the way I like it.
The dagger hums with even more energy now. There is stillness in the chamber.
Bones turns towards Jade, the piece of spear still sticking out of his chest. Jade, can you help me with this?
I thought you'd never ask. Jade walks over, wraps her fingers around what's left of the spear, and pulls it out.
Roll a medicine check.
22.
Bones takes only 1 point of piercing damage, bringing him down to an even 50 hit points.
Vanya, insatiably curious, inspects the bodies of the fish people.
Roll an investigation check.
18.
Your eyes are drawn to the white coral spears, which appear to have been made with an expert craftsmanship. Additionally, after looking at all of the bodies of these fish creatures, you notice that one has a purple pauldron on his left shoulder, made of spiky urchin, a rank delineation. Their biology is obviously strange and unfamiliar, and their bodies are already drying aggressively fast once they've been removed from the water.
The verdict is still out on whether these creatures are magical or scientific marvels. Please be scientific marvels.
Come here, look what I've found.
Standing in the center of the room and pointing at the text, Theobald clears his throat as he begins to read aloud.
May his perpetual internment stand as an everlasting treaty between Deva and Asura, between Olympian and Titan, Aesir and Vanya, Yahweh and Demon, Aeneid and Apophis. His place is known now, to his jailers and himself. The wheel broken from the axle. Agartha stands safe and strong.
Theobald, roll a history check.
24. Well, isn't this just a briny pickle? This passage here references several different pantheons, obviously, and the wheel broken from the axle, well, that does sound quite an awful lot like the way we've been solving puzzles thus far, doesn't it?
Theobald holds up the wheel-like Antikythera device that has gotten them every clue that has led them to this moment.
And Agartha, also often called Agarthi, often confused with Shambhala. It's from a fairy tale, but it's the land of magic's origin. The land all magic comes from, at the center of the earth, also spanning many different traditions.
Yeah, sure, but what's it mean?
Theobald adjusts his monocle and peers at Jade through it.
I haven't the faintest, my dear.
Theo, this place, Agartha, the place of magic's origin. It is my white whale now. I will destroy it from the inside out. I will see its villages burned to the ground. Every ounce of it will be destroyed.
Right, well, before you blow it up, maybe we can get something out of it. That might be treasure.
Hot dog! Treasure?
Agreed, Vanya. Let's not be too hasty to blow up something that might provide heretofore undiscovered knowledge, shall we? Let us fan out and see if there's anything else to be discovered.
Everybody roll perception or investigation checks.
5.
23.
17.
19.
Bones, as you scan the ground, you notice that it seems remarkably undisturbed, as though no one has stepped foot here in eons. And Vanya, you become preoccupied with the smell. Peeking through the smell of smoking fish and burning oil, loosed from your flamethrower just a moment earlier, is an odd freshness that shouldn't ever be present at the bottom of the ocean. Theobald takes one awkward step, tripping slightly, and sees that he has stepped over a small knob protruding from the exact center of the room, and it looks like it perfectly fits the Antikythera mechanism.
Of course. Everyone?
And Theobald places the Antikythera device on the stone knob in the center of the room.
The mechanism locks into place. There is a pulsing of pale blue light as all of the symbols of the zodiac alight on the mechanism, and it begins to slowly turn. And the entire chamber rumbles.
Oh, what's happening?
The doc just blindly opened another crazy magic door again.
Do not know if this is magic. It could be a mechanism.
It's magic!
Dust puffs up from the floor, and two enormous pillars begin to raise out of the floor in the center of the platform, causing all of you to stagger back towards the circle's edge. As these pillars begin to rise, only a foot or two out of the floor now, you begin to hear the trembling of chains. As the chains rattle and the pillars grow higher and higher, you begin to see the hooks embedded into each stone pillar, suspending something between them. Everybody make a perception check.
22.
13.
18.
8.
Wrapped in a comical amount of thick black iron chains, suspended at 4 points between two floor-to-ceiling pillars, is a stone statue. Most of the statue's form is obscured by the spooled metal, save for the top, where there is a hooded head. The face is difficult to make out, as shadow is cast over the stone visage. But Theobald, ducking his head down and peering through the darkness, looks up to see a face that is in fact two faces, semi-combined, with expressions of agony as if they are being torn apart. The face shares one enormous mouth and 3 tortured-looking eyes. Again, all carved from stone. When the pillars make contact with the ceiling, all of the shuddering stops. Theobald, As your hand moves to your Rosetta Stone necklace, each pillar is marked with the runes that read Atlantis.
Theobald cranes his neck, gazing more intently at the statue.
Roll a history check.
12.
It is not a face you recognize.
Is someone there?
The voice echoes in the entire chamber.
Please help me. I beg you, help me.
Hello? Yes, who's there?
I cannot see. Is someone here?
Theobald, the dust in the air surrounding the suspended statue seems to waver, indicating the voice's origin.
Who are you? Why have you come here? Seek ye to torture me further?
No one is here to torture anybody. My name is Theobald Daringcroft. I'm an explorer from the surface. Please allow me to introduce my associates. This is Bones Mahoney, our American daredevil cowboy pilot. This is Jade Pickitt, our lock expert, and rather handy with a knife as well. And this is Vanya Baranov, a dedicated, brilliant man of science and explosives expert. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
I don't remember my name. Have you come here intending no harm?
Quite the contrary. I'm looking for a way to prevent harm, further harm to the world above. How long have you been down here?
I cannot say the time. It has passed in isolation. I was imprisoned here at the dawn of the age of Agartha.
Vanya pushes his way forward. Are you also an enemy of Agartha?
Agartha is filled with liars and tyrants. You are from the surface, mortals.
Wait, I'm lost. I thought we were looking for Atlantis. Is this Agartha now? What's a...
You stand in Atlantis, daredevil cowboy pilot.
Well, that's gotta be a porky. I mean, look at it. It's just a real empty room.
Atlantis is not one room, child. It is many places. Prisons of Poseidon's own making.
And Agartha? Where is that?
It is hard to say where Agartha is. It exists at the center of everything.
Jade sidles up to Theobald.
Gav, maybe we should be a little wary of this bloke, seeing as how he's all chained up.
Please, I mean you no harm.
Sir, why exactly are you imprisoned here? For what crime, I mean?
I was betrayed.
I use that line a lot myself.
You, mortals of the surface, you don't even know what's happening to you, do you? You don't know what's being stolen from you every second.
Would you care to enlighten us?
When I roamed the surface, mortals gave their devotion, their worship, to beings they perceived to be gods. These are not gods. These are simply beings blessed with the proximity to a power you cannot imagine and the means to steal every last bit of it from you, to keep you in the dark. I simply wished to show mortals the light, to show them what was being stolen from them, and each god in each pantheon rose up and put me away for trying to shed light on the truth.
Prometheus? Is your name Prometheus?
He came before me, but I know him. Prometheus achieved something I never could, what became known as the ritual of apotheosis, an ascension. I never dreamed of heights so lofty, for the idea of godhood to me was a perversion. Please, if you can free me, I can tell you more. I simply cannot bear another moment of this pain. Please.
Theobald listens to the being carefully, searching for any hint of insincerity. 19.
You search the still stone face and find no indication of a lie.
Theobald considers the being's tale to see if it lines up with any stories or fables he's familiar with.
Roll a history check.
24.
It does indeed feel very Promethean in nature, as if this were some kind of powerful being who stole knowledge from the gods with the intent to disperse it amongst mortal men. However, the stone statue, though it is surrounded by Grecian-style pillars, does not appear of Grecian craftsmanship.
You smell of magic. Have you been to Agatha?
Not that I know of, but some time ago we did come upon what is known to us as the City of Mirrors. I was transported from there to the land of Edom.
Yes, that is it. The sweet smell of apples. You have been to Edom's orchard.
You a friend of hers?
A friend? She is a jealous monster.
Oh, good. Then we're in agreement.
She would strip you of everything you have. Every last ounce of free will, autonomy.
I know. I know. I've seen it.
Their schemes will not stop. I can help you. I can help you keep them at bay.
At that, Theobald's eyes light up.
You can help us stop what is coming?
What is it you believe is coming?
War. Death. Unspeakable things. Edom showed me unspeakable images and told me they would come to pass if I did not remain there.
So the critical mass has been reached. Weapons of war have become too powerful.
If I free you, you can help stop it?
I will do everything in my power to.
Whoa. Doc, you're not actually thinking about freeing this freaky statue thing, right?
Please, sir, I do not mean you harm.
I mean, hey, I believe the whole vision of war thing, but I didn't sign up to let some scary Two-Face loose.
Understand, I like what you say, but we have fought statues before, and it was not pleasing.
Mr. Mahoney, I'm sorry, but I've seen those visions. You haven't. If this being can help us write a different future, help us preserve humanity, I would jump at the chance.
And Theobald turns back to the creature.
How does one free you from this place?
Where I am suspended between the pillars, you will see runes. If you can destroy those, the chains will relinquish and then I need only be wrested free from them.
Theobald looks at all the pillars
and sees very complicated runes that do not translate with the finger on the Rosetta Stone. They surround each anchor embedded in the rock.
Theobald's jaw sets.
Vanya, I need you to rig up 4 charges.
A smile creeps onto Vanya's face.
That is the sexiest thing you've ever said to me. I have at most 1 charge. It has been a long day, Theo.
Theobald looks between the 2 pillars and then picks the closest one.
That one then. Make sure you get both the anchors.
Vanya takes out a brick of C4 and starts to walk over towards the pillar.
Bones claps a big meat hook on Vanya's shoulder. Vanya, you of all people couldn't possibly want to really let this thing go, could you? I mean, we have no idea what it is. It's a talking statue, for Christ's sake.
I am torn. My best friend makes a very good point.
Vanya stands there staring out into the middle distance, non-committal.
Mr. Mahoney, need I remind you that we are thousands of feet below the ocean's surface without an apparent way forward? Regardless of how you feel, we also need to find the path again as well.
So, you're willing to blow Vanya's last charge on freeing some evil talking statue instead of finding a way out for us? That's a risk-reward evaluation that I can't get behind, Doc.
You assume too much, man. You don't know about this being one way or the other, and if it even offers a chance of stopping what I saw, it'll be worth it.
Who's assuming now? You don't know anything either. You're just hoping. That's not the same thing as knowing.
Theobald's eyebrows furrow as he stares at Bones for a second, and then without a word he turns to Jade.
Miss Pickitt, do you think you could pry loose either of these 2 anchors on the other pillar here?
Well, I could give it a try. Gotta say, I'm curious.
And Jade climbs up to the tallest one, takes her thieves' tools out of her boot, and starts working on it.
Jade, make a thieves' tools check.
14.
You find it difficult to get these anchors free. They are wedged firmly into the rock.
Oh, crikey, they're really in there. I think we'll need big bones for this one.
I'm not making anyone do anything they don't want to do. Vanya, what else do you have? Anything smaller, perhaps for the individual hooks?
Bones walks away from the group and begins attempting to excavate the tunnel back out from where they came.
Bones disappears back into the water. Bones, as you dive down, you see that the tunnel, now very, very dark, seems blocked by heavy rocks. Make an athletics check.
22.
You move one rock, find a crushed reef shark underneath, as well as an amphibious fish-like hand, presumably of another one of the fish creatures above, and begin excavating.
If you give me enough raw materials and gunpowder, I can make something. I can make another.
Theobald empties his pockets of all his ammo.
I've got 38 bullets left. They're yours.
That should be enough.
Before Vanya gets to work on the explosives, he turns to the statue.
So, you do not believe in gods. What are you then?
I am something in between. I served those that would be called gods from Agartha, but was never granted the power that others seized. The ones that would have you be subservient to them, to kneel to them in temples of their own making, voluntarily granting them your power. You're just food for them, and you don't even know it.
All right. I'm ready to do this if you are, Theo.
Wait! And Jade backflips off the pillar and steps back.
Oh, Tea-Leaf, I did not even see you up there. You're so good at what you do.
And Vanya places one charge on each pillar.
Is everyone ready?
Ready. Shall we tell the meaty one?
Yes, I suppose we should.
I'll do it. Jade walks over and sticks her head in the water.
Bones swims back up towards the surface. Did you guys finally decide to do the smart thing and turn back?
No, we're about to blow him up.
When you're ready, Mr. Baranov.
3, 2, 1, boom!
The anchors shatter loose from their places as the pillars crack and crumble, and the statue falls to the earth. As it falls, everybody make an investigation check.
22.
12.
3.
23.
Vanya, Theobald, as the statue falls to the earth, the chains already coming loose, you notice that there is a strange mirage-like effect that seems to be keeping pace with the falling object. And just for a moment, you can see what's behind it. Cloaks flutter down to the earth as the chains impact. The dust poofs up, and then standing in the dust, as it all settles, is a figure in a black cloak, an ornate, gem-laden necklace wrapped around its neck, and its hands clutched behind its back. The figure seems quite a bit larger now. Though you hear the chains fall to the ground, there is no impact of stone.
Theobald steps forward.
Bright yellow eyes, giving off their own light, open at once.
Nope, nuts with this. Bones dives back into the tunnel and begins excavating again.
Where is he going?
Theobald immediately notices the change in the being's voice.
Calm yourselves. I need not do harm to any of you. You have set me free. I am grateful.
He is just trying to find a way out.
Yes, I shall leave him to it then. Mortals do always like to assure their method of escape.
To that point, I helped free you on the understanding that you can help me stop what's coming.
That I can. Take my hand.
The figure walks through the mist and extends a hand to Theobald. A muscular-looking hand, ash-white with black tattoo-like markings spiraling around it and sharp, pointed nails. Its hands backwards.
Theobald tries not to show it, but the backwards-facing hands give him pause.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
15.
As you stare at the yellow eyes, suspicion welling up within you, you suddenly feel a sense of calm. As the yellow eyes look at you with a paternal, compassionate gaze.
Come, let us be free of this place.
Yes. Yes, all right.
And Theobald slowly reaches a hand out to take the creature's hand.
And Jade catches his wrist before they touch.
Gov?
Theobald turns and looks almost through Jade.
It will be all right, Miss Pickitt. They're going to help us.
Just as I suspected. Big Ram, think we've got a situation here.
Jade, as your eyes flit over to the creature, make a wisdom saving throw.
22.
Why are you afraid, child? You need not be.
Jade, those words feel honeyed at first, but there is something dissonant in the background that causes your brow to furrow and for you to reject this creature's vocal advance.
You know, it was always those with the kindest words. I think it's time for us to go. You're free now. So are we.
You are indeed free. I feel as though you think I intend to stop you from leaving this place. That is not my intention. I simply wish to have a word with your friend, and I'm afraid I cannot take no for an answer.
Vanya searches the statement for truth.
And as you do, make a wisdom saving throw.
24.
Make an insight check as you too reject the honeyed nature of these words.
Dirty 20.
The face is deeply stoic. You get a good look now as the dust settles. Ash white and with similar black spiraling tattoos. A bald man of unknowable age, and the yellow eyes are pupilled with slits. Feline, cat-like, and just at the edges of a very convincing assurance of Theobald's safety, you detect a small hint of contempt and malice.
All right, we're leaving.
As you begin to shuffle backward, frighteningly quickly, the creature, shuddering, blasts forward through the dust, grabbing Theobald by the lapel, and says quietly, under his breath,
Come with me. There is no time.
Yes, you're right.
And in a stuttering blink, Theobald and the strange figure are gone.
Hey, you beautiful listeners, it's your old pal Nick here to talk about the Hero Club Patreon. If you're loving what we put out there, think about skipping a coffee once a month and supporting the podcast instead. As Patreon members, you'll get access to our Discord, where you can interact with us on the daily about D&D and anything else you want. You get the episodes a day earlier than all of your non-patron friends, and you'll get to listen to our weekly Patreon-exclusive show, Members Only, where George, Dylan, Marty, and I interview other cast members and each other about specific seasons, characters, and kinda just whatever. So what do you say? You ready to join the club? Head to patreon.com/HeroClub to sign up today.
Theobald, you leave the quiet of the cavern. A bright, full moon shines overhead as the gentle waves lap up onto the sandbar, the entrance to this Atlantean chamber just a few feet away. To your right, bashed up on the shore, there are the smashed remains of a steamboat, the remnants of your vehicle to get here. And to the left, endless open ocean. Theobald, make a wisdom saving throw.
Dirty 20.
You blink and suddenly see this creature grabbing you tightly, staring into your eyes.
I am truly grateful for you freeing me.
Theobald, no longer charmed, does not feel good about his decision, but tries in vain to hide it. You told me that you would help me stop it.
Yes, I will. You must tell me everything you saw. What is it that Idun showed you?
I saw fire raining from the sky, giant bombs going off, the living beside the dead.
Men, horses, rats.
Would you be willing to share this vision with me?
Yes. I wish there was someone else who could see it.
The man puts a hand on your forehead. Your eyes roll back, and suddenly, you are right back in the worst of your nightmares. Cowering in a crater, surrounded by flying bullets. You are surrounded by dead men, dead horses, barbed wire, fire, smoke, yellow gas that chokes your lungs and causes men to hemorrhage, bursting with yellow pustules, twitching and screaming. And to your left, standing calmly and observantly, is the tattooed man. He looks carefully around, at both sides.
Very good.
And you are pulled out of the vision. As you come to, you look down and see sharp claws gripping into your side. Just a tiny bit of blood begins to drip down onto your pants. You take 7 slashing damage as the creature holds you tightly and puts his other backwards hand on your cheek.
Thank you for this. You've given me the key to it all. You've given me the template, the blueprint, something to aim for.
Something to aim for? No, that's what I want you to help me stop. Help me stop it.
I promise you, I will do my utmost to bring these visions to reality.
No, you can't. You can't. We had a deal.
The hand moves to your throat, choking you.
I lied. And now you will live with your torment every moment you close your eyes. Because that's what you deserve. You all taste better when you're afraid. And I will feast on your fear. I will gluttonously gorge myself on the food of the gods and watch them starve.
And he takes one enormous, sharp-toothed bite out of your shoulder. You take another 11 slashing damage. The figure licks his lips as he pulls his hood back and basks in moonlight. And shining white and black hair extends from every pore of his body. His face morphs and changes as he resumes his most comfortable shape, growing to 9 feet tall and easily 500 pounds. A smirking white tiger.
A Rakshasa.
I'll see you in your dreams.
The tiger lifts off the sand slightly, hovering in the air, and then, cloak billowing, sails away into the night. And Theo is left alone, standing on a sandbar in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle.
Theobald collapses into the sand and weeps. God.
A long time passes before the clattering on the staircase that leads deep into the bottom of the ocean becomes audible and then crescendos, and Bones, Vanya, and Jade emerge.
Jade reaches the beach first and looks around. Then, seeing Theobald, she runs desperately towards him.
Gov! Oh, Gov, you're alive! Oh, I'm so glad. Where is he? What did he do to you? We were so worried.
Bones walks up, a look of deadpan resolution on his face, and throws a massive haymaker right at Theobald's face.
Theobald doesn't even try to dodge.
16.
Hit, roll damage.
13 damage.
Bringing him down to 3 points of health.
You stupid son of a bitch! What did I tell you?
What are you doing?
Jade gets in the way and flashes her knife at Bones.
You can't be knocking an old pot and pan around like that. He can't take it. Look at him. He's worse for wear anyway.
Theobald groans as he stands up out of the sand. Thank you, Miss Pickitt. But I'm afraid he's quite right. I am a stupid son of a bitch.
Bones goes to knock Theobald out, punching over Jade.
Jade, in response, stabs upward into Bones' wrist.
Jade, Bones, roll attacks.
25.
Theobald is knocked out cold.
I'm sorry.
16.
Jade, roll damage.
16 damage.
Bones is brought down to 34 points of health.
God! Ah, you stabbed me with the weird soul knife!
Well, sorry, I told you not to hit him.
He had it coming, and I can't believe you two. You're equally as responsible. Whatever that thing is, it's out there now, and that's on your heads.
Well, how was we supposed to know that he was all evil? I mean, as soon as I knew, I was trying to get us out of there, wasn't I?
They're always all evil.
That is right.
Vanya, head hung low, raises his eyes to meet his comrades.
It is all evil. Bones is right. I should have known better. I knew in my heart that we should not have done this.
Oh, God, ran with all the doom and gloom.
Magic is all evil.
Just about had it with you.
Oh, Tea Leaf. Really?
Yeah,
Just about had it with me?
yeah, I've had it with you. I've had it with a lot of you. All you grumping and glooming. I just want to get paid and be on my own.
Is that all we are to you, Tea Leaf?
Well, I'm not your best friend, am I?
And Jade stomps off to the beach.
Vanya walks over to Bones.
Hit me. I deserve it. I deserve it just as much as him. Hit me.
Bones reels back for a punch. Ah! And shoves Vanya back on the ground. Ugh! You ain't worth the knuckle ache.
And then, causing everyone's heads to lift, except for Theobald, lying unconscious in the sand, the roar of the Wyvern's engine can be heard. The enormous, way ahead of its time, bomber-style aircraft, outfitted with seaplane pontoons, makes to land adjacent to the sandbar. The Wyvern settles, its engines whirring down, and then it slowly and quietly approaches as the back door opens and splashes into the water. Nickleback steps out onto the descended door, holding 2 unpopped bottles of champagne.
Greetings, everyone! Have we discovered a new society?
We discovered a whole mess of other things. Jade marches onto the Wyvern, holding her knife on which are skewered 2 fish. She takes one of the bottles from Nickleback and retreats to the kitchen.
Those were for sharing. Thank you, Miss Pickitt. Everyone, come aboard. Sir! Sir, are you all right?
Without acknowledging Nickleback, Bones stomps onto the Wyvern, straight to his bunk, and begins packing his things.
Oh my goodness, are you all right, sir? Oh, you've got sand in your lapel? Oh, sir, your monocle's shattered. What's done this to you?
Vanya goes to Nickleback, grabs the other bottle of champagne out of his hand, and boards the Wyvern.
Right, yes, you hold this, and I'll take his legs, and where are you going?
Nickleback leans down, unsteadily holds a limp Theobald in his arms, and just barely makes the jump onto the Wyvern.
Oh, easy does it, sir.
And the door to the Wyvern closes. Theobald, the moment after Bones punches your lights out, you feel yourself surrounded by black, sticky muck, almost like a glue trap, pulling you down to the floor. You are fully conscious and in control of your faculties.
Is anyone there?
The dark silence is broken by a thundering boom. And then another. And then a third. But this time, after the explosion, a figure is blasted out of the darkness, crashes through the muck to your feet, groaning from pain as the left leg of this man has been shorn at the kneecap, and his blood begins to tint the black muck underneath him a bright crimson red. And staring up into your eyes is Bones Mahoney.
Just hold still. We're gonna fix you right up.
I should have put you down when I had the chance, Doc. Stopped you from making that mistake. You killed us. You killed us all.
Another explosion. Blasting back through the muck next to Theobald, still in the process of burning, is Vanya.
She's dead, Doc.
Theobald looks down at Bones in horror.
No. Please, God, no.
Oi, Gov. What's the matter?
You feel a hand on your shoulder. As you turn around, you see the hand is Jade's, but Jade herself is slumped over a barbed wire fence, staring at you with glassy, dead eyes.
All your fault.
No.
Sir, wake up, sir! Sir, you were screaming. Are you all right?
No, Nickleback. I am not all right. I am not quite sure I ever will be.
We've just arrived back at Bravegate Manor, sir.
And, the rest of the team?
Yes, well, Mr. Baranov and Miss Pickitt are still here, but Mr. Mahoney requested that we drop him off in the United States, and once I gleaned that it was he who shattered your monocle, I simply chose to be a bit liberal with my decision-making in terms of location for him to be dropped off. And I may or may not have lied to him, and he may or may not be in Mexico. Bugger to him.
Theobald brings a hand up to his cheek, realizing just how sore it is.
Yes, well... Let's get Miss Pickitt and Mr. Baranov paid.
Here, a blanket for you, sir.
Thank you, Nickleback.
Both of you trudge out of the hangar where the Wyvern sits, through Bravegate Manor's well-groomed gardens lined with perfectly level hedges and patinaed statues, and up the back steps of the mansion. When Theobald goes to bed that night, his sleep is restless. Visions torture him every moment of the night, unceasing. And when Theobald opens his eyes, dark bags forming underneath his eyelids, he gains no benefit from his long rest. Theobald turns his head to greet the shining white draped window as the sun desperately tries to shine through the overcast sky.
The morning after a grand adventure. Dividing up the spoils, seeing the team off. This used to be my favorite part.
This has been a Hero Club production, produced by Nick Williams, George Primavera, and Jack Quaid, with associate producers Marty Abbe-Schneider and Dylan McCollum. Voice acting by George Primavera, Nick Williams, Marty Abbe-Schneider, Dylan McCollum, and Lelia Symington. Overture composed and produced by Matthew McCollum. Subscribe to our Patreon to support us for the cost of just a coffee a month and get access to our weekly interview show, Members Only. Plus, follow us on Instagram at Hero Club Podcast, on X at Hero Club Pod, on Twitch at twitch.tv/hero_club, and check out our website, heroclubpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and welcome to the club.
Of course, Miss Pickitt, yes. Wait, let me try this again. I lost Nickleback. Yes, sir. I will do whatever I can to make myself a big douchebag for you. Whatever you like, I shall cook and clean and tidy up. Just a real shithead. Am I?